on Sivir, push Sivir out of lane, and then just cause issues across the board for Snake. I mean, he was the MVP. He was very much deserving of it.
We'll have to see if EDG can continue capitalizing on mistakes and if Def can get more than 33% damage share in this second match. In this second match between Snake, here's we enter Champion Select for game number 2 of this best of 5 series. And already the bans are coming through. Lysandra and Azir being banned out on the side of EDG. Snake taking away Kindred again, but this time they do not want Koro to have that Maokai.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. The Maokai is a very strong champion. Nautilus, the closest thing to it in regards to guaranteed lockdown. But against the Sivir, you would prefer the Maokai, to be honest, because the ultimate, the depth charge is a bit like, I'm coming for you. Hope you have your spell shield ready. I'm coming. And then he just spell shields it.
Well, another big tanky top laner that can lock you down. Poppy is going to be banned out by EDG. They don't want Flandre to get his hands on that champion. His most played champion this split so far, but to be fair, it's the most played champion for a lot of top laners in the LPL so far. As Nidalee is going to be the final ban coming out from Snake. ZZR had it last game, but they don't want it first picked by EDG.
Yeah, that makes sense as well. Kindred and Elise being taken off the board means that ZZR might default to something like his Elise. Perhaps they early rotate a Gragas as well to flex it instead. Lots of options still available for Snake, even though those are the bans. The big standout feature is that they've entirely almost changed those bans to not be mid lane focused. And Korn's going to have his TF or Lulu available.
His S tier jungler for the side of both S tier junglers for the side of ZZR being banned out by his team. We'll have to see what they pick up during their first rotation of picks here. But Echo, he's been picked up for the side of EDG as their first pick. A very strong pick, a very common first pick in the LPL right now, and it goes with the trend of this year, the meta of flex picks being picked up. We saw it in the mid lane for Pawn last game, but we see him a lot in the top lane as well.
Yeah, he's primarily being played in top lane, but the LPL, you'd beg to differ, that's for certain. Tank Echo mid lane is a very unique thing, as Snake, they've responded strong.
Well, Tank, in the other side of the team, being Snake's player, is probably going to pick up Ryze in this matchup here once again, as Alistar has been locked in as their supporter choice. A very popular pick in the LPL, and Mako showed us why in that last game, rocking his Thunderlords on that cow.
And just relentless with his diving as well. The second hit level 6 towers are a non-factor to you, and that's where EDG blew the map open even more so. So Snake taking that away for Ella. Very nice pickup. I do quite like that.
Goes nicely in hand with the spine of Snake Esports, allowing Ella to be that playmaker and potentially set up a lot of tower dice once he hits that level 6. If you take a look at EDG's side, they're looking to pick up their second rotation of picks, and it's going to be Sivir that's locked in for Def this time round. We mentioned that previous team composition, arguably the only champion they could really slot in there would have been Sivir. This time they're going to be able to pick it up with the Graves once again for Clearlove.
Yeah, looking for Braum, but they actually opt into the Graves, which to me is taking the champion from ZZR as a possibility. And based off Clearlove's performance in the first game, they don't want ZZR to deny the pick from Clearlove, which is why they lock this one in early. Braum's not going to be taken from them. Alistar's there. Actually, just very smart rotation, but it shows the priority, and you can always assume that ZZR is going to default to this anyway.
Well, his most played champion in the LPL is Elise. He's had 16 games on that. Just after it, it's his Rek'Sai, followed by his 2 S-tier pickups. So you'd have to think that he defaults back into this one. In fact, he hasn't played a single game of Graves here so far, so he has a very tight-knit champion pool that he likes to pull out once in a while, and he's going to stick with that as he locks in Elise in the jungle. And Lucian is going to be picked up by Crystal this time around, looking to see if he can provide that 43% damage share for his team.
Yeah, well, that's a pipe dream for any AD carry, isn't it? Very rare that you'll see 43% damage done at all, as EDG yet to respond with all of the options available to them. You would imagine Braum, and I would actually like Karma.
We saw Karma in the last specified series that we saw today. Picked up quite a few times, and it's been a pick that has been becoming popular in a lot of the different regions, but we'll have to see if that is a choice pick coming in from EDG or Snake. We're still waiting for EDG to round up their lineup. They've already locked in the Echo, which could be flexed into the top lane or into the mid lane. Graves, which should be going to the jungle, but can be put into the top lane as well. So they can still be a little bit versatile with their 2 pickups here, whereas it looks like on the side of Snake, they're kind of hiding either their top lane or their mid lane pickup, but Ryze should be going to mid lane, so it should be a pick coming in for Flandre as their final pick, as Lulu is going to be locked in for Pawn, most likely in the mid lane, and it is going to be Mako picking up Braum for the side of EDG.
Yeah, and I guess I liken Karma to a combination of Sivir and Lulu in one champion. It's just what it feels like in the way that you work around your team, but already having the Sivir there makes sense to just get the other strong aspect of that kit. And whilst it's not directly like a Lulu Lucian or Lulu Kog'Maw type of team composition, the Graves benefits, the Echo benefits, and the Sivir benefits to different degrees. So by having that Lulu there, it just means that EDG are going to be playing similar to they did in that first game. That slow, controlled, and just strong League of Legends.
We've already seen that Def can pull the weight if he has to in terms of damage contribution for his team when some of his players lack that damage coming into game number 2. But Snake, they're waiting to pick up their final pick to round up their lineup. They already have the Rise being picked up. We'll have to see if that's going to be flexed up top or being put into the mid lane from the side of Snake, as they're looking to pick up Gangplank.
Really?
As their final pick coming here against EDG. We'll have to see if that's played by Flandre or Tank, but I would assume...
You would think it's Flandre.
I would think it's Flandre. Tank hasn't played Gangplank yet.
No, Tank's the Rise guy. He's the control mage guy with the pocket Varus Corki type of thing there, so... Gangplank, not exactly his cup of tea. I'd be surprised if they swap it into him playing it, but Flandre is ridiculous.
And to be fair, it is one of the most banned out champions against Snake back when Gangplank used to be a very strong, very popular pick before he was hit with a little bit of nerf here and there. It was actually banned up 49% of the time against Snake, and the only person that played it was Flandre. We'll have to see if we can use that effectively against the Echo top lane coming in for Koro. It is in fact going to be the Lulu being played by Pawn here. So we have the lineups being locked in for both these teams. They've changed it up a little bit in this game.
And it's funny, at the start of this split, we would have looked at Snake's team composition and said, how did they get that? Because like a 100% ban rate basically for Gangplank and Rise came out, and even Alistar was the top priority. But how things have changed moving into the playoffs. Snake still have a strong team composition. The EDG, just a Sivir comp. Best way to describe it.
Well, we're going to head into game number 2 between EDG and Snake in just a minute. And we are back onto Summoner's Rift for the second time in this Best of 5 series between Edward Gaming and Snake Esports. Currently, EDG are up 1 game after a dominant victory in game number 1. We'll have to see if they can continue that in game number 2 or if Snake can change things up and find something in this game. Last game, we saw EDG start a lane swap against Snake, something I thought I would never say. We'll have to see if they continue with that trend here in game number 2 as we take a look at the Keystone Mastery. But before that, Ella and Mako and Def.
Well, they're duking it out.
They're just fighting up a little bit. Actually, Crystal in a bit of trouble, gets
Wow.
exhausted. He's dead. He has to go down. Thunderlord's proc going to come out from the Lulu, but it's Mako that throws his fist. Another good left hook coming in from the Braum. Takes him down.
I don't know. It feels like more of a backhand from Mako just there. For some reason, decides that he's the one deserving of that kill.
My river.
Yeah, finds himself the recipient. Of course, exhaust burnt from Mako, but the heal already used from Crystal. Early first blood from EDG. Oh my god.
Oh, they're going to do it again.
No, they're not. ZZR's smart. Is he? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Well, they might actually still try and walk around and see if they pick up the Gromp camp.
Even Pawn's here. Like,
everyone wants a piece of this action. But Snake, proving that they're a pretty smart team, walking around the long way. They're in fact going to start on this Gromp. Look at this, EDG.
Oh, they're going to catch them doing Gromp,
They're being
aren't they?
aggressive. They're going to catch them doing Gromp. They still have both their flashes up and available. Gromp's down to about half
They're doing blue buff next to them.
We want blue. They don't see each other.
Oh, what a disaster. They got the two. Oh, they got one small one. Okay.
That's it.
Small victories, I guess. Take what you can. First blood and 20 gold. Fish.
Goodness.
Worth.
Yep. 420. 420 good. Goodness sake, EDG. Like, I think Spawns has the best ships of the night. Just pass each other. They don't get too much out of it. And it's clear Love's going to be able to take
submarines, mate. Covert ops ships in the night.
Goodness.
That was something else.
Clear Love's going to be able to take his own blue buff on his side of the map for one, but Crystal and Ella, they already burnt the heal earlier. Will be back up shortly, but means that Def can be a little bit aggressive in this lane. They're already doing just that. We took a look at the Keystone Masteries earlier. Nothing out of the ordinary. Still Storm Raider Surge coming in from Rise, and Ella, you know, this time is going for the Wind Speaker's Blessing. No Thunderlord's Mako coming in for this game.
Yeah, marginal differences, of course. Pawn the only one with the Thunderlords this time around. I thought Mako had it for a second at level 1 when they got the first blood.
That would have been fantastic.
Because the slap was timed with the Thunderlord's decree, but naturally. And once again, I just need to bring up the fact that Crystal did not respect Brom's passive. He could have flashed over the wall. He could have flashed anywhere earlier so that he didn't get stunned. But EDG, they go to first blood, and all they burnt was the exhaust, which is not too far from being available again already.
Yep.
Such a big mistake.
And that first blood went over to Mako, who was able to go back, pick himself up a Ruby Crystal already.
Oh, they're swapping.
And they are swapping out. Does look like they're going to send Silver and Brom up in towards the top lane. EDG don't want to go up in standard lanes against Snake. But Snake, they're still sticking to their standard lane playstyle. They're kind of not going back towards their lane swaps that we saw about 70% of their games in the regular season.
Yeah, a couple of cool things I guess we need to mention about that, right? They get the first blood, they get an early cull. EDG also able to pressure out a Gangplank who's gone for an offensive build with his Mana Crystal and his refillable potion, which is very niche, but still quite good. So they're actually in. Oh my god, a flash and exhaust.
Mako looking to be aggressive here. He's taking a lot of damage from this turret as Def trying to do as much as possible underneath this turret. They juggle the aggro very nicely, but not able to take him down. Even Pawn is up in this top lane trying to remove the Gangplank from his own lane. But a swap has been initiated coming in from EDG, and that does mean that Crystal Ella down in the bottom lane have been able to farm out freely with only Clearlove there to stop them in that push.
You would imagine Koro teleports down there to help Clearlove defend the turret, but may want to save it for this top lane. We'll see how he reacts. Of course, teleport advantage as well for EDG. There they are.
Teleport is going to be coming in. That's one from
Both
Koro,
of
one
them.
from Pawn as well. There's 4 members up in the top lane. They're looking for a delayed line. Flandre, he's so low. He's going to get locked down here for a second. That's the Eden Orange, but he is not okay as ZZR is the next target, trying to go up into the air. The Wincy Spider is going to come back down, and it's Koro that picks up that kill.
And the turret aggro from EDG was just impeccable. The blinking health bars does not matter. The teleport advantage we just mentioned doesn't matter for Snake. The teleporter was the one dying and also overstaying his welcome. So we are naturally going to see how this unfolded again. And funnily enough, even with a misplay of hitting the turret a few times here from Koro from the looks of it, actually ease the turret, doesn't hit Flandre, they still make it work. And watch this juggle of aggro. Mako, he took the first round, Koro took the second round, Pawn gets the third, and then Deft the fourth. Like, they juggled that so well.
Beautiful early game coming in from EDG so far. 3 kills already being picked up. Initiated a delayed lane swap coming in. They're going to be able to take down this turret. Should be at the same time as Snake as well. But just like that, they picked up about 1,000 gold lead for themselves. One Snake take down this turret, but it is relatively healthy. It's possible they could try and defend this one. But as I say, that ZZR is going to make his way down. But still a very nice start coming from EDG.
Yeah, so it's a cannon wave, and Snake should have enough time to at least put damage onto it. It takes too long for the bottom lane of Mako and Deft to make their way here. But they still get the option of a freeze if they would so choose, or they can bring Clearlove down to try and pressure in a 3v3 scenario. But we didn't mention the CS advantage that Crystal's actually accrued for himself through this.
Whew.
That's a lot.
20 CS up ahead of Deft. That's a big CS lead, and that's probably going to pull that gold deficit back slightly for his team. But 3 assists onto Deft with that Cole active. We'll be able to catch up shortly. We'll have to see how that unfolds later in the game. Another thing that we didn't notice and point out, that was a gank onto the teleport top. No teleport onto tank. He's packing Ghost in this matchup.
Hey, I said that. You take that back.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, take that back.
What have I done? I'm going home now.
What a disaster.
Goodbye, Rusty.
Nah, it's okay, of course. You're right. Tank going for the Ghost this time around. Bit stickier, bit harder to actually kill as well if he chooses to use one summoner spell to run away. Defensive, offensive, double utility. But yeah, no teleporters. Once again, the major advantage gained by EDG in the way of kills answered and almost matched in the way of farm. EDG not slowing down with the pressure, however. As GP ult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of them going to try and get up this wall. Tank and ZZR going to flash him aggressively, but this might not be the fight they're looking for. ZZR
dead.
Really low. Tank incredibly low. Paul going to be the sacrificial land as he walks back in towards ZZR. Eventually gets taken down. Koro gets in there. Use the ultimate to get back out immediately. They trade 1 for 1. Aggressive move from Snake.
That was a lot of flashes and everything over the wall near the Rift Herald to try and take people down, but Mighty Harold stands strong and slaps a lot of people in that last fight.
This is my pit. until Baron gets here.
Thinks it's his pit, but naturally, surprisingly, I will say actually from EDG, they hold the fort in what looked like a 2v4 type of scenario, but so much burnt to get over the wall that it almost backfires.
Very calm from EDG, knowing that they have to turn around, put some damage back out in that disadvantageous scenario and able to trade it 1-for-1, arguably getting the better out of it with all the summoner spells being burnt on the side of Snake. In fact, only the Smite, Flash, and Teleport up in the top lane are available. Everything else is just gone.
Yeah, and Koro once again getting that other kill at the back end of the fight as well. Now 2-0-1. He's going to be a massive issue, especially for Flandre to deal with. And that's where the beginning of the end potentially for Snake unfolds. It is through Koro, and this is the sway of an EDG team.
Yep.
Where do they put their emphasis? Well, Def last game, he did nearly half the team's damage, but this time around, they've got an Echo in the top lane that can carry, and a Lulu to complement whoever it is ahead.
He's looking to try and pick up his Sunfire Cape as soon as possible as well. Already has the components and the Dark Seal ticking for the side of Koro. We'll have to see if he goes for the Pawn Special and picks up a Magi's as well, but I highly doubt he will go along that path. This Flandre looking to try and steal the blue buff away. Well, not really steal it away, take it back for his team.
Steal it back, yeah.
Don't think Snake really understand. All the buffs currently belong to Clearlove, and he's making sure of that in this series so far.
Yeah, and that was Tank's blue buff on a tier stacking mid laner that goes to Pawn. So not the ideal situation at 9 minutes in this game. And I'll continue to say that for Snake because 2K doesn't sound like a lot. Usually the game-winning value is around the 10K mark. So they're a fifth of the way to it. But at 9 minutes in the game, 2K is a lot because people have barely got enough for a BF sword. But the collective BF sword and longsword they've got an advantage could mean team fighting and skirmishing.
Speaking of BF swords, both Crystal and Deft have been able to pick theirs up. Crystal even went for a very late cull. He already had 50 CS before he went back to base to pick that one up. So it's going to be stacking a little bit slower than Deft's eventually will. But still, they should both be able to complete their Essence Reavers on time. Crystal's, you know, he was 20 CS ahead of Deft earlier. Deft's been able to catch up quite nicely. Only about 10 CS behind the Lucian right now. As EDG, they're able to take down Rift Herald.
Yeah, an objective they love, honestly.
Yep.
And Big Gaming doing well at controlling that objective. The Dragon also not actually being touched at all from either of these teams. And it comes down to lane assignments once more because this is the freeze-off that Flandre's trying to do, that Koro's trying to break. There's no point being bottom side if you're looking to take objectives elsewhere. We
saw last game how Dragon was taken down very sneakily early by CZR. And it was EDG that took control of the pit later on in the game. Rift Herald buff is on Def right now as Clearlove is going to find ZZR inside of his own jungle. Chunks him down to half health with one shotgun shell. And the Q coming out as well. Clearlove being very aggressive inside of Snake's jungle. The rest of EDG actually close up towards this top lane. Looking to try and push towards the top lane inner turret. They still have Echo Split pushing down in this bottom lane against Flandre. Both of them have their teleports up and available. And the mid lane is going to go face off in the mid lane as well. So EDG stacking a lot of members up in the top side.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of their efforts towards the top side of the map naturally. Pawn able to rotate, as is Koro, which is why they're doing this once again. If ZZR shows himself bottom, they could look to make a proactive play. It's Koro. No, never mind.
Almost gets caught out, is able to phase dive away from the cocoon that did eventually come in from ZZR. He hasn't been having a great game so far. Last game, Clearlove was able to match him in terms of farm on his Nidalee, something you don't usually see. And then this game...
He's miles behind this game.
He's 30 CS behind Clearlove right now, and he's died twice in this matchup already. Still waiting to complete his runes. Echoes. The mid lane turret is being sieged by EDG here. A lot of damage going down onto that with the Rift Herald buff coming in from Deft. But the ultimate will come out from Gangplank. The Cannon Barrage is able to clear away the wave that was pushing on towards the turret. And Snake able to take down a turret of their own up in the top lane, evening out that advantage.
Yeah, evening it out, but not for long. Naturally, EDG have got the Rift Herald, so they're pressuring. The only remaining outer for them to take. The question's always where from there, but of course the Dragon. You know what? Take the free objective.
Exactly where EDG are looking towards next. They're about 2,000 gold ahead of Snake. And Snake, knowing that they're at a disadvantage, don't want to fight EDG just yet. The Dragon will go on over towards Clearlove. They pick up the first one of their game.
Yeah, it's a small thing, right? Graves is miles ahead of ZZR.
Yep.
But the small thing is that you can just take the neutral objectives from it. Rift Herald and Dragon. What is something that is usually traded You get Rift, I get Dragon type of thing. They now get both, and the mid lane turret, which was the only trade Snake could get. So the objective game, well and truly there for EDG in number 2 of this best of 5.
And you have to think that it's going to slowly start to look like the middle of the first game for now, where EDG, they find a comfortable lead for themselves and slowly just push out the waves, clear out vision, disappear in the fog of war, and take away all the objectives possible and maintain buff control over Snake. We'll have to see if Snake are able to do anything in response leading into this game, but let's take a look at the items really quickly. Trinity Force, the components have been picked up by Flandre for now, looking to try and complete that one. In the mid lane, Tank has that tier stacking. Rod of Age is going to be complete shortly as well. His counterpart, Pawn, he's picked up a Thieves' Unholy Grail on his Lulu. We see Lulu's mixing it up in the item build time and time again. Another version has come out from Pawn this time around with his Merc Boots.
Pawn's just decided he's a tank. Like, he's gone for Merc Treads with his magic resistance item. He just thinks he's a tank. Like, Koro might want to swap roles with him after this one. We don't actually know. They're making it work, however. Of course, it's a Lulu, so by not dying as Lulu, you can empower the rest of your team more often.
Well, he can't really be tank because Snake has that mid laner. But
he can try.
Look at this, Ella actually getting caught out a little bit. Takes a little bit of damage inside the blue buff area of Snake's jungle. In fact, EDG have the timer on this one. They're going to wait for it to respawn and try and take the objective away once more. Klulov's been doing a really good job of controlling this with the rest of EDG. Pops down the smoke screen, trying to deny the vision. The smite does come out, but it looks like Klulov was still able to pick that one up.
Yeah, I think it was Klulov's smite as well to lock it down at 100 health, which was the safety smite. Most importantly, I believe they wanted to give that to Pawn. But the advance through the smoke screen from ZZR forces it.
Unlucky for the Lulu, but he still has that Athenes that we talked about earlier, giving him lots of mana regeneration.
He's going to try, yeah.
And ZZR has to smite away the red buff after the Time Winder was ticking coming in from Echo. He was doing his best to put on his best Clear Love impersonation and try and control the buffs for himself. We take a look down at the bottom lane for now. Crystal has his Essence Reaver picked up, looking towards his second item, which should be a Zeal item coming up shortly. He does have that small CS advantage ahead of Deft for now. Deft has been doing a good job of getting back into this game, but he might find a wild Clear Love in just a second. Sweeps out that bush, going to dash aggressively forward. Lucian, he's been caught out. A teleport is going to be coming in as well, but Clear Love looking to finish the job himself. Cannon Barrage coming out, dodges the Blue Shot Barrage, actually dodges the collateral damage as the ultimate did come out for Gangplank, but the insurance teleport for Koro is enough to take him down.
Crystal goes for the outplay and puts everything into living there, but Clearlove doesn't even burn his flash and walks away. The teleport's going to be enough to pick up the kill, and Clearlove actually tunnel visioning on trying to get the outplay. A desperate maneuver, it felt like, but to no avail, as once again EDG, another kill on the board, another piece of control of this puzzle granted to them.
He was still able to burn that flash away from Crystal before he got taken down. So EDG trying to find advantages wherever they can. Look at this. Actually trying to wrap around here. Mako, he's able to jump onto ZZR, uses the rappel to get on towards him. Gets the flash over the fat side of the wall. So nice job from ZZR.
Yeah, tough wall to flash, to say the least. It took him a second to readjust himself, click the right position where he was flashing towards. And it is successful, but that is actually just a flash burn. And once again, EDG, they're rotating around, they're proactive, they're aggressive, and they're getting it done.
And it's beautiful to watch EDG play the style of League of Legends because they just slowly take everything away from the other team. Snake, and we mentioned this in game number 1 as well, they had an impressive game against Invictus Gaming. It was a sub-60-minute best-of-5 series. But this game, EDG just tearing them apart piece by piece, and Snake just can't really find an avenue to attack. They can't find a way to get back into this game just yet. They've been trying and trying, but EDG just say no every single time.
EDG's bottom lane's just too good. I think that's the plain and simple answer to this question, right? Like, do you gank the tank Lulu? Do you try and kill the Echo? They're playing defensively. They have great vision. EDG even setting up now in this top lane. Snake is struggling to respond.
They've got the Rift Hole buff on the minions. Doesn't give them an extra bit of tankiness like the Baron buff does, but still get some decent chip damage down onto the top lane in a turret. And Slandra, he's going to be putting on his best Dyrus impersonation, farming up the walls while his rest of the team is grouped up on the top side of the map. Fortunately, he doesn't die to those minions.
He's got his R key soon. That's all the Gangplank needs. They are going to try and hide Flandre, you would imagine. But against the 3-0-1 Echo, even accelerating his build with more damage. A mixture of magic and physical damage as well, now that he's got that sheen. Pretty hard to deal with. So they are legitimately hiding Flandre where they can.
He's picked up 127 CS for himself. That will be inflated even further thanks to the parlay coming out from Gangplank. Probably gets extra gold coming in when he shoots champions as well. Well, I'm trying to be a little bit cheeky.
I was curious where he was going to go with the item build as well, because he's gone for the Merc Treads opposed to maxing his cooldown reduction.
Yep.
But I believe with the Lichbane build, he should be perfectly fine.
Nah, that's going to be an Iceborne Gauntlet.
See, I'm still not sure. That's that's why I was curious. I'm going to imagine that it's a Lichbane.
Well, we hope so.
And if he builds Iceborne, I'm going to shut my eyes and pretend it's a Lichbane anyway.
Well, we hope it is. It gives a little bit of extra damage that she needs in that mid lane after giving a lot of utility to the rest of the team. We have to see where he goes with that build path later on in the game.
He would too.
Yeah, he would. He would continue the trend as well with his item pickups so far.
That was satisfying.
Gangplank barrels, always fantastic to watch.
When the Trinity Force crits. That's the thing, right? Like, he's just got that zeal, but when it crits, life is good.
It's not when it crits, it's when Flandre wants it to crit.
You keep saying that. I don't believe you.
Well, EDG,
That doesn't make sense.
they're going to maintain control over this Dragon Pit. The second Dragon of the game is going to fall to them unless we get a Miracle Steal across the map. But Kobe Bryant's not in this game, unfortunately. The Dragon does go down. Second Dragon for them, maintaining control of these objectives quite nicely coming from EDG. They're looking to continue their push down the bottom lane.
Yeah, you're alone. He'll fight you.
He's being a little bit sneaky. Chunks it down to about a third of his third of his health away. But the rest of EDG there to respond to it. Once again, Clearlove asserting dominance over the buffs of ZZR, making sure he has absolutely none of them. And he's targeting the blue buff for this game. It was red buff last game. And just making sure that every single time it spawns, EDG are there to take it down.
All of your map are belonging to mine.
And it feels like clockwork from coming in from EDG. Every time Rift rolls up, they're there. Then they push the lane.
They're counting. Exactly. Yep. They're timing everything. They're working together as a team. It may be slow, but of all things, it's methodical. As they've gone from blue to red. Not imagine from red they'll start warding up for Baron. Perhaps they change their attention towards the Dragon.
Flandre tried his best there. Wasn't able to take down the red buff. Clearlove takes that one away from his team.
Look how simple this is.
Yep, Koro's been down here for quite some time, split pushing. Eventually was able to chip away the turret and finally takes down the bottom lane inner turret. So EDG, 4 turrets to 2 in this game so far, and 4,000 gold ahead of Snake.
Like, they just 4-buffed at 20 minutes in the game. No one does that. EDG, it's a weird thing to say against a team like Snake, who were originally known as the lane swap team. They're outclassed. At least in this second and first game. Sure, Snake could definitely get it together and start making much more proactive plays. Perhaps it's their drafting. There's a lot of things that they could look at directly. But EDG, it just feel like they're at the upper echelon of performance right now, whereas Snake are just responding the whole time.
And this is 2 games in a row. EDG throwing some variation of lane swap against Snake and coming out ahead. Once again, 10 minutes into this game, EDG were ahead. So Snake don't have that statistic to fall back on anymore. As we are 21 minutes into this game, Snake looking to group up towards this mid lane, have all 5 members on that side of the map. EDG able to respond nicely, sending Clearlove, Mako, and Deft into the mid lane just to clear out that wave nicely, protect the mid lane outer turret. Clearlove gonna get aggressed on by ZZR, just throws out a Q and the Spider has to run away. He wasn't having a good game early. He's definitely not having a good game now. Already picks up that Runic Echoes, looking towards his next item. Should be a Dead Man's Plate, I believe, but he's still 40 CS behind Clearlove.
Yeah, so he's definitely struggling. ZZR actually just expends his entire mana pool on trying to poke somebody who took about 200 collective damage from the lot of it. So not exactly the best position, ZZR. There's no doubt he'll start to recall. Thankfully, Pawn, by the way, has his Lichbane. We can all... I can sigh relief. My expectations are a little bit warped, I guess, of Pawn. He had a Mijaz last game, that says it all. And these two, once again, it's a different style, but they're holding hands. Because they are both teleporters, and there is no way that Flandre can deal with 2 of them.
Yep.
If they get any type of flank.
And we've already seen EDG use that double teleport effectively in this game. We saw a little bit of blunders in the previous game, but they still came out on top with the usage of teleports. EDG have a nice wave stacking up in the top lane. Flandre, though, going to get jumped on by Koro. Deals a lot of damage to this Gangplank. Still can't quite fight the Echo just yet. And this wave is going to crash into the tower relatively quick. Tank Hiding inside the Fnatic brush, trying to see if he can get a cheeky jump onto one of the players, but instead just farms up that juicy wave for himself. He already has some nice items completed there. Seraph Embrace and the Rod of Ages has been stacking nicely. Ionian Boots of Lucidity give him that extra cooldown reduction. You have to think he might be going for that Guardian Angel next. We have to see what Tank decides to pull out.
Ryze is like the meta Garen. You know, like Garen's always just sitting in bushes, and he's meant to scare you when he comes out of the bush, but the current Garen's like, oh, cute. There's a Garen in that bush. Let's run away and not die. Ryze is like, holy crap, I'm in trouble. He is kind of like the good Garen.
The good Garen?
Well, I'm going to say meta. I'll stick with meta.
The meta Garen?
I don't want to offend any Garen players out there. I respect your decision.
To spin in circles non-stop.
I think it's fun. Do your best Beyblade impersonation.
Oh, Deft is trying to do just that with his Sivir here. He's going to be pushing out the bottom lane. No, that's Koro. There's Deft. He's in the mid lane. I can't tell these two champions apart. Apparently, one's a girl, one's a guy. Can't do it.
They're pretty different.
Yep, I know.
You said it. You already said the differences. I'm not sure how you can't tell them apart. Some serious questions with you afterwards.
I'm going to tell these two apart, though. Scuttlecrab's going to be taken down by Clearlove. He's going to work on his arch enemy, the Ward. We'll be able to take that one down shortly. But EDG, once again, playing it very slow and steady. They know that Dragon's going to be coming up in about a minute. And that should time nicely with the blue buff on the side of Snake, which should be up around now, actually. After they're able to take that one away right after the Dragon. Pawn is up in the top lane, split pushing against the Gangplank. Does have his teleport up and available. So can join the team if they need him to.
Look at the emphasis, by the way, from Snake. Tank and ZZR have instantly rotated here.
I want this.
Because Tank hasn't had one all game, and he really wants one. He's a Ryze. So smartly, Snake, they do put a lot more emphasis on this particular thing, and it's 1 foot forward into the door. And he's slightly ajar still, so there's an opportunity for Snake to work their way back into this game.
They are 4,000 gold behind, so it's going to be a difficult task for them to do that. But Dragon's going to be coming up in about 10 seconds here. EDG have a lot of their members around this area, and a lot of pink wards to deny vision over the mid lane, and Dragon.
Oh,
Look at
out
this.
the flank.
Flank's coming in for Koro. Is not able to get the parallel convergence and actually takes a lot of damage. Uses his ultimate to get some health back and get back into position. Mako taking the brunt of the damage here, but ZZR, he's in the backline. Get flashed on by Deft. Puts a lot of damage down. Flandre, he's able to snipe off Mako, and it's a 4-on-4. They lost him, but Tank, he goes aggressive. Gets turned into a little squirrel, gets taken down. Snake, they're falling apart. Double heal comes in for the mid lane pawn. They're chasing onto the Gangplank. 2 flashes over the wall, and they pick another double kill up for Clearlove. They sweep the Snake lineup and turn towards Baron.
A team effort once again from EDG secures them a near clean ace. The only casualty of this battle is Mako, and that's the support. As once again, as you mentioned, they work towards this Baron. This is just clockwork from EDG. They find a flank, they execute on the flank. This team is going above and beyond in the playoffs right now.
And nobody is up and available for Snake to contest this Baron buff. Even Mako going to be able to pick up the buff for himself as he respawns in time. And just like that, Snake are 7,000 gold behind EDG. Their members have respawned and they're looking to try and move towards the Dragon Pit, but I think EDG have the same idea. I'm going to try and get to that pit first and continue their aggressive control over the objectives on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, absolutely. All of the vision that Snake has got is defensive. Nothing near the Dragon whatsoever. So easy take once again from EDG. Dragon number 3 for move speed. They've got massive gold advantages, and now they just have the complete control. As something about EDG and getting Mejai's Soul Stealers on Echo. It's
Koro,
a wondrous thing.
You let me down.
That's great.
No.
What's bad about a Mejai's on Echo?
Nothing, really. I just
great.
don't want him to do it.
It's great.
Oh, he's going to try and put it to good use. In fact, scares Tank away. He flashes out of that parallel convergence. Did not want to take any damage from this Echo.
That's a Ryze flashdown as well. It's a lot of his engaged tools. It's one of many engaged tools missing. Is Koro, I think he's in trouble. I don't really know.
He's going to try and turn around. This is a 3-on-1 though. Koro going to try and run his way.
Oh,
There's an Alistar here as well. Pops his ultimate as soon as the headbutt comes in. But look at the bottom side of the map. They may be able to get Koro.
That's 5.
But they're going to be able to take down the spot lane in Inhibitor turret. And Inhibitor, they traded 1 kill for this objective. Snake really really trying to find something, but that's not the thing they wanted.
Well, they set their goal. Their goal was to kill the Echo. And I tell you what, they were damn successful when it comes to that. A lot expended for him to go down and a lot taken from EDG. You don't gank the Echo at 27 minutes in the game against a Baron buff team. I feel like you're asking to lose your inhibitor.
Well, at least they're able to take away all those Magi stacks, so, you know.
Yeah, he's gone down from what, 0 was it?
Yep, 0 to 0, so you can still...
Did he have Darksteel stacks? He probably did. Doesn't matter. That's still, they've actually got nothing for that. They got 300 gold and a couple of stacks taken down, an inhibitor and another turret taken from EDG. Still have the Baron buff available to them. Things starting to look more and more dire for Snake in game number 2. Ridiculous.
It certainly is. Pawn, he's been able to pick up his Rabadon's death cap on that Lulu, so after the Athene's Unholy Grail start, was able to pick up quite a bit of damage for himself. Teleport actually being used up into the top lane. EDG wants to continue this push onto the turret. It was Pawn that moved up there after picking up his Rabadons. And EDG looking to continue this push. Another teleport being used by Koro, taking up the turret coming in. They will be able to take it down. The second inhibitor turret does fall for EDG. Snake desperately trying to defend for this one, but it looks like they're going to give it away.
Oh, no, Ella.
He's gone in, gets taken down incredibly low, has to pop the ultimate to stay alive, but Koro, he's being a little bit of a nuisance in the backline against Snake as Tank tries to go in the front foot, pops his ultimate, runs forward. They've pushed him off the inhibitor for now, but EDG, they're just going to come right back at it.
Yeah, they absolutely are. EDG are not going to relent from this point onwards. The advantage is still secured. And they do have to send people to this bottom lane to defend. So sooner or later, advantages will be secured and forged even further for EDG. You would imagine, as Tank, unfortunately, he did hit the trap in that last fight after Koro used his ultimate. But he didn't have the passive proc. So whilst he used his spells, he couldn't continue to lock anyone down. And EDG walk it out.
Yep. And EDG are 9,000 gold ahead of Snake right now. Massive gold lead for themselves 30 minutes into this game. And they're looking strong in this series. They're showing Snake why they are the second seed. And Snake, unfortunately, have not been able to put up a similar performance that we saw from them 2 nights ago against IG. This is just not the same Snake that we've seen in the start of the LPL with all their fancy lane swaps and ways to get ahead at 10 minutes. They're just falling behind against EDG that are tactically looking sound in this game.
EDG are lane swapping on them.
Yep.
EDG are controlling the pace of the map. They're controlling the tempo of the map movements. Whoa.
That is aggressive. Koro flashing aggressively against Flandre. Has to blow the flash of his own. Clear Love, he's here as well. They put so much damage down onto this Pyro. Yo-ho-ho with a bottle of rum's not going to save you, buddy. As Ella, he's been locked down. His ultimate can't even be channeled there. And the inhibitor will fall down in response. This should be game for EDG, I feel.
You would imagine they're continuing to push in. They don't have the bottom stack, nor do they have many minions yet. They are tanking it up, though.
And Tank, he's trying to take as much damage as possible. He gets taken down once again, turned to a little squirrel, has to flash onto the fountain. The rest of Snake slowly retreating away to their base.
And the army's coming.
As it gets dismantled by EDG in game number 2. They're going to chase down Rise here. He's going to turn into a squirrel one last time and get taken down. Def picks up that kill. But this should be game. Going on over to EDG. They're going to take down a Nexus and pick up game 2 in this best of 5 series.
2 games down. EDG find themselves 2 games up. Scary position for Snake to be in. You can see they don't look too riled. They're definitely actively talking though, Snake. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered by this team. Moving into the 3rd and potentially final game.
And once again, EDG just came out strong right off the bat. Picked up a very early kill at level 1. It was Maker that picked that one up, but they were able to show their aggressiveness time and time again. Came up with a lane swap, very delayed against Snake, and they just took the game from the very start and didn't let up all the way to the finish once again.
Yeah, it was a start to finish suffocation essentially from EDG. From the very beginning to the very last moment they killed the Nexus, EDG always looked like they were in control, and if anything went in the other direction, Snake got like, I think, maybe 1 blue buff that whole game after the 7-minute mark. Like
the very forced one.
That was the epitome of a bleed out, honestly, from EDG.
And that feels like the same story from both these games here. It's been like Clearlove wants to control all the buffs that he possibly can in these 2 games. He's doing that fantastically. Snake, though, they looked decent in the start of the game number 1. They looked like they were trying to fight back. They found a way to, but this game, absolutely no way for them to fight back against EDG.
Yeah, again, EDG just feel like they're a refined team. Target selection, the #1 important factor that we're always looking at. And the thing to me that goes above and beyond even what you're expecting, it's individual performance with the team communication, is that every single time Pawn used his W, he was turning the Rise, who was in the middle of a combo, into a critter and just denying all of that damage. And you look at where Snake's dealing their damage, it was through that Rise. Just never happened.
And once again, Snake, they just didn't feel like they did anything to pull this game back. And we talked a little bit about how they were meant to do that after game #1. What can they do in this? What can they do going to game #3? Because this is match point for EDG. What do Snake need to change now?
Everything. We're looking at Tank as the person dealing all of the damage. We went through an entire split where it was Flandre and it was Crystal doing all of the work. Right now, we're looking at the new mid laner of Snake and saying he has to do everything. The rest of the team needs to work around him.
Well, Tank did have a fantastic series in their last matchup in the playoffs here for the LPL, but we're going to have to see if we can continue that in game #3 of this best of 5 series as we go to a short break, but we'll be back with game #3 very shortly.